maybe stop the stream for MNN. And welcome to rabbitholecentral.tv. My name is Paula Gloria, and I'm streaming to you today from Berkeley, California. And I'm just absolutely delighted to say that I'm going to be making a phone call to somebody who's going to tell us about internet fraud. His name is Craig Butterworth, and he's a communications specialist at the National White Collar Crime Center, which is 10900 New Close Road, Suite 325, Glen Allen, Virginia 23060. And I'm going to call him right now. His number is 1-804-273-6932. So, hello?
White Collar Crime Center. Our hours of office, AM, 5 p.m. If you know your part. A moment, please.
Craig.
Hello, is this Craig?
Yes.
Butterworth? This is Paula Gloria. I'm coming to you from Rabbit Hole Central TV, and I also have a public access television show in Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
Okay.
And we're recording this, and I'll be posting it up on YouTube. I didn't really expect to hear from you because when I checked the emails, about an hour ago, I hadn't had any response from Lisa. But I will get it up.
Right. Well, that's what I'm trying to establish some correspondence with you, just to let you know the rules of the game, as it were.
Okay.
I appreciate your being so intrepid in your bid to get some information, and we're happy to accommodate you any way we can. But it's just protocol. Calls, like I said, inquiries typically go through me.
Okay.
And so, what is it you're looking for? How can I help you?
Well, there's a couple things going. I think what really instigated this was my friend from many years ago. I was a bridesmaid at her wedding. Her daughter, when I came down to visit her in San Diego, her daughter gave me a ride back up to Los Angeles, and she was going to collect some money from a subletter, and she was going to sublet her apartment for the summer. And as you know, college kids, live together in these houses, and the rents are pretty high, $2,500 a month.
Right.
So she had gotten a cashier's check through an internet, I don't know if it was Craigslist or whatever. The cashier's check was taken to the bank and then was found to be bad. So my friend gave me all of these numbers, and that's what I called yesterday, and then posted it to alert people to this. But over and above that, I've also had a problem with the internet, with YouTube, because YouTube has been taking down some of my videos. But even more than that, I used to get a copyright notice in my inbox, and then I would respond and I'd get it back because it was all my material. There wasn't any copyright infringement. So somebody can just sort of say that about anyone. I realize, you can't really control that. But the problem I'm having now is I have an impersonator. And this is very annoying. Like, I could just block the impersonator from my site, but if somebody has set up an account that is practically my own name, they go around and they leave comments, and people think it's me. And one comment that came to my attention was, you said that you went to Iraq and you lost the use of both your arms. And I can see that's not true. You're a liar. So this becomes very disturbing.
Right.
And then this morning, between when Lisa sent me her response and then talking to you now, I have something saying Divine Weapons Part 2, and I have quite an audience in India. And they're taking down one of the videos because in it I'm using one of the great epics. They had a series of 70 chapters, and all of India would come screeching to a halt when this was on television. But in Manhattan Neighborhood Network, we use fair use, which means 50% of the material or more should be you commenting on it. which I'm certain this has well more than 50% of me commenting on it. So this becomes very problematic to like in Manhattan, I can go to the public library, I can check out some videos. I like to do things that have to do with World War II or the history of the United States. And so I will roll in some footage and then make comments on it.
Right.
So, you know, and I have never been able to talk to a human being before you.
It's interesting. Wonder why that is.
YouTube has no number where you can call them. I even went down in person with the camera. I figured YouTube is all about cameras. And they just flipped out. I was treated like a criminal, you know, even before I could say anything. And then I was directed to sites on the internet, or, you know, I could, you know, email certain places. And then I would get very standard comments for one. And then one of my most important videos that was taken said inappropriate material. It was entirely content that me and my friends created.
Right.
You know, we had 3,800 hits and 815 comments in 5 days. So you can see, yeah. So you can see this was very very interesting to people. Then there's a deeper question as I finally have a human being to listen to me, and that is murder. The internet can give information that the mainstream media is not giving, that can be so significant to throwing the light on criminal activities that criminals can kill. And I could demonstrate that at a later time. So I'm just trying to quickly give you a whole breadth of the scope of what my almost 1,000 subscribers have slowly started to listen to me as I've developed my presence on the internet for 1 year. I've started off with spirituality. I went to India for 4 years. I wanted to study how Jesus did the healings. I wanted to show that if we can understand each other as human beings, there would be less inclination to go to war over misunderstandings. And I had a huge dream for what I called at that time New Realities Global Public Access. I wanted India and third world countries to know what we have in America, which is free speech, and in particular Manhattan Neighborhood Network, where I had a weekly call-in show. And then I went to a daily show. I don't have the opportunity for call-ins. That's kind of part of their rules for daily shows. But I was able to achieve the kind of feedback I had on cable call-in shows through the internet. I started posting on the internet, and then I would get written comments, and then somebody donated a stream to me, so I could put a stream on my website. And then from there I could do kind of a combination of emails. People can email in their comments and concerns, and then hopefully I try to be faithful to what my viewers want and faithful to the truth.
Yeah. What's the name of your program again?
The program in Manhattan Neighborhood Network is called Farther Down the Rabbit Hole. And you can go to www.mnn.org and click Channel 34 from 11:30 until 12, Monday through Friday. And you can watch it as Manhattan is watching it. And then on the internet, I have paulagloria.com, which I'm just building up. I don't have such good web skills now. And then there's rabbitholecentral TV, which was the great gift of a group called Everycast. They're giving me the stream. And then my big presence is on YouTube, youtube.com/Paula Gloria.
Okay. Well, let me speak to a couple of things for you real quick. First of all, you have to understand that information is procedural around here.
Sure.
Is that these requests typically go through me. If I'm capable of responding off the cuff, then I can do that. However, the 3 questions involving bad checks over the internet, the impersonator issue that you mentioned, and murder on the internet, none of these subjects am I qualified to speak to. I would have to find someone who was. That person may or may not be at IC3. I think when you you got through to IC3, those good people over there were happy to accommodate you, but overlooked procedure at the time. So it's just a matter of following procedure and me just trying to hook you up with the right person you need to speak with. Now, as it relates to these three topics, I don't know that we have any one individual that can speak to all three.
Oh, well, hang on.
To find that person for you.
Craig, the only reason I threw all of that in was when I called the number that was internet fraud, and I listened to it, it said it was a division of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Mm-hmm. So I thought, wow, this is exactly...
Which it is. The Internet Crime Complaint Center is an alliance between us and the Bureau.
And when you say us, who are you under the jurisdiction of?
The Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Okay.
National White Collar Crime Center.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, if you like, again, now that you are familiar with our procedure, how this system works, you'll, in order for me to get back to you, and I understand your comfort level, you would prefer to call me. I, however, will need a contact number for you so I can get back to you with the relevant information.
Okay, let me give you the number that everyone knows, and that's in Manhattan. It's 212-982 0021. But I'm not there now, so you can leave a message. I'll be back on the 16th, but I'll keep picking up messages.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, it's my understanding
Craig, let me explain that. I have chosen to make myself transparent, but I really want to honor when I'm a guest at other people's houses. And that's why I don't give out their numbers anymore.
Oh, well, that certainly makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're to be commended for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying my best because I think it takes a combination of transparency and discretion to bring the country to the highest ideals that we have, that we're proud of, and that we want to share abroad.
Okay. Well, that certainly makes sense. Well, let me see what I can find out for you. So, deadline for you is not really not a relevant issue.
No.
You're good to go whenever I can pull this together, if I can pull it together.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I will be back in touch with you.
Okay, and then you have my email.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. And we're streaming right now on Rabbit Hole Central TV if you want to go online, and I'm going to check my email to see if there's any other comments from people.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Craig.
You're welcome. Good to talk with you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so let's see if I can set this up to continue recording it. I wasn't actually going to be recording today, but I got that call, so I thought I should jump on it. So let's see here. This isn't going to work very well for the light of all eternity. I'll have to put it back again here. So I'm going to check my emails now to see how that sat with people. It's really nice to get a human being. As I said, I've never had a human being talk to me from YouTube, and I think the implications are tremendous. So, Harold, if you're out there, can you call me, because you do have my phone number. I'm at my mother's house, and I sent you something about ACAP. I think ACAP is going to be really, really important, and that's the Association of Public Access Producers. So far, I do not have anybody that's making any comment on the internet. So what I will do is I will just carry on with my string, and if anybody is out there, please contact me at rabbitholecentral@earthlink.net with any comments or concerns that you might have. And Harold, if you're out there, I sent you, to remind you, the telephone number of my mom here, and give me a call there. So now I'm going to take a look at some of these. No one, this is a comment that I got from the thoughtful viewer, Joe Cooper. He goes, no one should ever, and I mean ever, accept a check in which you have to send money back unless you really, really, really know the person, even if the check looks like it came from Jesus. It is a scam that has been going on for years. So that's a very good point. So along those lines, I am going to make a phone call to Buck Lou, who I'm going to Okay, hang on. I'm sorry I don't have that number here. I'm going to be right back. And we're going to call Bucklew, who is a banker, and he'll talk about the...
My emails now twice as much since there's so many Wi-Fi hotspots. You can email me, lhucom@gmail.com. It wouldn't hurt to have a duplicate sent out to lhu@lycos.com because sometimes I don't get the messages right away. Yep, I actually check my emails more than voicemails now because the voicemail process is so slow to check. You can also call me at 617-217-1861.
Okay, so Bucklew's not there, and so what I'll do is, unless I get some more comments from you, I'm just going to go over some of the news. And it seems as though the big news right now is YouTube privacy is an issue, and this has to do with Viacom. So it says YouTube ordered to tell Viacom what you watch, Viacom. In a ruling that could have serious privacy implications, a federal judge has ruled that popular internet video site YouTube must hand over details about what people watch online. Well, I think a lot of us 9/11 researchers have known that this has already been going on for a long time, but it apparently now has to hit the mainstream. So maybe, well, who knows, maybe what. The decision filed Wednesday by U.S. District Judge Lewis L. Stanton, the decision filed Wednesday by U.S. District Judge Lewis L. Stanton in New York is part of a $1 billion copyright infringement lawsuit that Viacom Inc., the entertainment group that owns Comedy Central, VH1, and Nickelodeon, among others, filed last year against Google, which owns YouTube. The suit says YouTube hasn't done enough to remove copyrighted material from its site and is making money off of it. Well, our gripe is it's removing material that belongs to us. It's not copywritten. Viacom demanded to review all of YouTube's logging information to prove that copyrighted clips are more popular than amateur videos on the site. Ho ho ho! Here's one amateur person who's had her stuff taken down. And I think I'm fairly popular. The logging data includes how often users watch videos, how much time they spend doing it, their username, and their internet protocol addresses, the unique identification assigned to individual computers and devices. The case and this ruling could have broad implications for the internet content and user behavior. The sharing of copyrighted materials online, both in music and video, has become commonplace in recent years, creating tension between copyright holders who believe they should control their material and internet users who wish to share and manipulate the content. Google requested Thursday that the judge reconsider the ruling. We see no reason why Viacom and other plaintiffs seek or require such information, Google said in a letter filed with the court. Given plaintiffs stated reason for seeking information from the logging database, potentially personal identifiable information should be irrelevant. Google counsel Catherine LaCavera expanded on that point in an email statement. We are disappointed the court granted Viacom's overreaching demand for viewing history. We will ask Viacom to respect users' privacy and allow us to anonymize the logs before producing them under the court's order. Viacom officials said the company has not asked for personally identifiable information of any user and that all the data would be handled by its advisors confidentially and used only to prove its case against Google. YouTube and Google have put us in the position by continuing to defend their illegal and irresponsible conduct and profiting from copyright infringement, the company said in a statement. YouTube is the leading destination for watching video online, accounting for more than 75% of all U.S. visits in May. This is why us 9/11 researchers want to have a presence on YouTube, even though YouTube does not give us security that we can build up platforms of authority. As soon as thoughtful platforms of authority are built up, these sites are taken down. According to a recent Hitwise report, to fulfill the judge's orders, Google and YouTube would have to hand over 12 terabytes of information, an immense amount of data. This week's ruling could threaten the privacy rights of the hundreds of millions of people who use the site, experts said. It's breaking the user's trust, said Jeremiah Yang, an analyst for Forrester Research. When users were watching these streaming videos on YouTube, they did not expect that information to be passed along. Citing the Federal Video Privacy Protection Act, Google argued that the data should not be disclosed because of the user's privacy concerns. The court's order grants Viacom's request and erroneously ignores the protections of the act and threatens to expose deeply private information about what videos are watched by YouTube users, said Kurt Opeshall, senior attorney for the Electronic Frontier Foundation, wrote in a blog posting. As Congress recognized, your selection of videos to watch is deeply personal and deserves the strongest protection. Art Neal, an attorney for New Media Rights, a nonprofit consumer group, agreed. It's disturbing because there is a chilling effect for the online content, Neal said. When big companies find ways to go after people, they use it beyond what the law allows them to do in terms of enforcing. The judge's ruling could pose concerns for other sites too. If Viacom wins this lawsuit, then there's going to be others who will step up and ask for this data from YouTube and other companies. Perhaps even Apple's iTunes store, Yang said. Google has maintained that the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, passed by Congress to encourage internet development, protects YouTube in the Viacom lawsuit and has allowed people to share ideas by uploading videos. While the judge said Viacom has a legitimate need for the user's information, he rejects Viacom's request for Google to disclose its search engine source code. Viacom has said it needs that information to show that Google makes more copyrighted videos available to users than amateur clips. Well, in that respect, I might be on Viacom's side in that respect only. If they're saying that YouTube is making available to its viewers more copyrighted material than amateur, then who is going to go to bat for the amateur producer? And this is why Manhattan Neighborhood Network, I think right now, needs to really be highlighted, because we have on Manhattan Neighborhood Network come to peace with this Fair Use Act so that people can step up and make comments on content that is in the public domain. It's in the public, these are icons in the public's interest, in their awareness. And so of particular interest is that database of what happened during 9/11. And this is so crucial that we get U.S. citizens, Americans, people that are advocates of free speech, to start investigating and researching and look at this body of knowledge, be able to take it and comment on it, take a look at it. And so what we're feeling is, of course, I'm a proponent of the no-plane observation. This is not a theory, it's an observation. The no-theory observation says that no airplanes flew into the World Trade Center during 9/11. So you can imagine how inflammatory this observation is when it goes against the mainstream. So whatever's going on with this big corporation, Viacom, and the government, or the U.S., I don't think they're talking about the government now. But this is why also I want to clarify issues of what is capitalism, what is privatization, versus allowing more people to have access to private property that they'll take care of. My YouTube site has private property on it. I created that content. Now perhaps I've signed something with YouTube that says then they have some ability to manage it, but I think we should take a look at this. And if YouTube sort of got a jump on things. You know, it's a private corporation. We should certainly take a look at privacy insofar as it affects national security. So if national security is being affected, then I would say the chance to make a buck should be overridden by the chance to make sure that you can maintain your constitutional freedoms, have free speech and all that. So I'm a little bit, I'm saying we should look deeply into this, into what's going on with YouTube and Viacom, and make sure that we are not going to cut off our nose to spite our face, and that these big corporations, I think, are groups of people who, like all human beings, have the same needs, and the need to contribute is a great human need. And we should make sure that we can distribute more of that power into the hands of more people. So if these institutions are good enough for the Rockefellers, the Buffetts, the Gates, and that is, how do you finance capital so that you can acquire capital based on the earnings of future capital? And trust me, the information, what would you call it? The information highway, the information data bank, the information capital is valuable, and it's something that should be distributed more widely. The power of the information age should be capitalized on by more people. If it's capitalized on more people will have power, real power, the power of ownership, as Norman Kurland likes to say, own or be owned. And as a result of this capital power in the hands of more people, you can have more creative strategies coming on board, and we will more likely be able to succeed as a species. Now, let me, in closing, say to Joe Cooper, yes, no one should ever accept a check in which you have to send money back. That's true. But now that we have the internet, you shouldn't have a cashier's check be able to be back dated by a bank by 60 days. They can reverse the charge up until 60 days. Now you have the internet, so instantly you should be able to make these transactions. Super instantly. And in the case of the PayPal scam, I'll go into that later, where Alan had somebody at his door. The person came, saw the computer. Alan called up PayPal. PayPal said the money was in the account. Alan let the computer go, and then PayPal reversed it. Maybe you can have a 1 hour kind of window where you can say, okay, come back in an hour and I'll give it to you. By 1 hour you should be able to see, if you had 4 people going out doing the same scam, then you know, they wouldn't all be able to say they could get it. You know, there's only $1,500 in the account, 4 people in the PayPal account, 4 people go out, they time it to meet at the exact same time, and then PayPal gives the order that says yes, the money's in the account, and then later on 4 debits come in, and PayPal you know, charges back the person. All 4 people lost a computer. So let me see if there's any new comments in my Earthlink account, and if not, I'll be closing the stream because we're now at 12:30. Nope, no more accounts yet, no more comments yet. So this is Paula Gloria signing out. It's 12:30, and I will post this on YouTube. We got a call from a human being at the IC3 department, which is the Internet Fraud Division of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and I was able to tell him the implications of information on the internet are as profound as murder. So there you go. I'm going to close the stream. And thank you, anybody who happened to be watching. This is Paula Gloria, over and out. Oh, actually, before I go, I'm going to call Harold just in case he's around. Let me see. Oh, I forgot his number. Okay, just as well. Okay, Paula Gloria, over and out.